and welcome back to the After Hours Gaming League. It is Week 3 action. We have Microsoft versus Zynga right now. And currently Microsoft is up 1-0 on day 9. And let's hop in and see what we have in store for us in our game number 2. In the bottom right, we have Cow's Rule from Team Microsoft, a software development engineer who's been playing games since 1998 that were Starcraft strategy related. Played himself a little bit of Brood War, and then on to Warcraft 3, and now on to Starcraft 2. And of course, Jules taking some opportunities to do the usual Zynga plugin at the start. Jules, the Zynga Toss, the strongest player on the Zynga team. When asked what his other hobbies were, Jules actually said, hobbies? Are you implying Starcraft is a hobby? Starcraft is a lifestyle. Attaboy, Jules. That's my kind of Protoss. Interestingly, Cow's Rule also plays as the keeper on a soccer team in also a Microsoft league. So, Jules, trying to get you to play on the platform of his choice. Now scouting through past the right Zelnaga Watchtower. We do see in the bottom right, Cow's Rule is continuing to make himself many a drone, sending out his first Overlord. Unfortunately, sending his Overlord Scout in the wrong direction first, so Jules is going to get that money scout right off the bat. We see he's up to 12 food, and we'll be making a pretty early gateway. You don't really see gateways on 12 very often in this matchup, but Jules, a man after his own heart. I'm not even sure if that is a phrase, but you know what? Jules is a man after his own heart. A man after my own heart. Maybe that's the phrase. Jules, he just eats hearts, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And there now is an assimilator going down for Jules, the Master Toss, against Cow's Rule, who's a big fan of cows, as it appears. When any choice of animal was given, he just immediately went for cows, and thus his ID was birthed. We see the spawning pool popping down. Cow's Rule going for the extractor, followed by spawning pool style of play. This is always going to allow you to get that Zergling speed up early, and in fact, many Zergs, such as Sheth, firmly believe that you should always get speed as quickly as possible in this matchup. The map control that you gain, the fact that you can push the Protoss back, so potent, and it looks like Cow's Rule not going to be delaying with units, going to be delaying with a drone. Come here, tasty probe, num num num. He's trying to make sure that no cybernetics core gets planted within this green box, and it looks like Jules now finally gets the chance to complete a wall off, but Jules is much later on that cybernetics core than he would have wanted. Oh, manner block by Jules. Ends up getting out of the way at the last second. Drone going dangerously through that mineral patch, but now pulling back out to the correct angle. Now, if you're Jules, you built the gateway early, so you could build your cybernetics core early. Killing a drone. But because the cybernetics core got even delayed, this really messes with the plan. And it looks like Jules saying right back at you, bro. He is planting that probe at the natural expansion area, preventing Cow's Rule from planting his own hatch. Workers wreaking havoc on each other, and there's the early paralings. And if you look at the unit counting station, we do see that only 2 lings popping out for Cow's Rule. We in fact see that he's getting Zergling speed, he's getting the upgrades for those Zerglings, yet building none. Very smart technique. He doesn't need units right now, he needs economy. But he needs upgrades for those units should a push come very quickly. So he is getting everything in the proper order. There is a one hidden probe. Jules, you dastardly devious fellow. Hiding a probe down there. It looks like he can prepare to do some sort of warp gate shenaniganry. But we don't see any extra warp gates getting produced. In fact, most of the chrono boost is actually getting devoted to that warp gate. Wants to get that out as quickly as humanly possible in Camp Zerg. Oh, it looks like Jules did not want to do any shenaniganry, which is a word. Looks like he's just trying to sneak up into the main with the scout. And what is he going to see? Not much! Oh, Jules getting taken down. The usual eye poke by Cow's Rule, using the double claws of that queen to just shadoosh right in the eyes of the probe. Now Zerglings from Cow's Rule heading up to the front. There's a pylon going down on the Nexus. Looks like Jules, is he actually going for a 1-gate expand? He is. Look at how early that Nexus is. We're at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Generally, you get that after 6 minutes. Jules, you crazy man. And oh my goodness, Cow's Rule looks like he's doing the standard canonical poosh timing that is becoming so popular, getting the Roach Warren. We see him still mining gas. He's going to be going for an early Roach Zergling bust. He needs to make sure he gets enough drones up in time. And look at this, a Stargate. Jules, who do you think you are, OGSMC? I didn't know OGSMC worked at Zynga. And there's Cow's Rule, the Microsoft engineer. Looks like he's getting some Zerglings in position, just trying to deny some information. And here comes. We see a bunch of roaches getting produced right now. Does the Protoss have enough energy? Oh no, he's going to lose a sentry! Oh, he loses a sentry. You have to keep 100% of those sentries alive in this position, and Jules now has a lot of energy saved up. We do see he's chrono boosting his own warp gate. He needs to get that Void Ray up very quickly. We see another sprint forward with Zerglings, and it looks like he will not lose that sentry. Very nice juke there. He needs to get that Void Ray up very quickly. I'll even start clicking it myself. There he is. Jules now getting it out. We see the roaches beginning to come forth. He needs to chrono boost it. This is an extremely thin, extremely scary timing for Protosses, but Jules is made of steel. Unperturbed by this. Look at this. Uh-oh. Cow's Rule going for a huge push. 5 drones at the net, not many in the main. Will this Void Ray pop out in time? He needs to chrono boost, and there's the chrono boost finally popping down. Roaches and Zerglings now sprinting forward. There's a well-planted force field that's going to route those roaches around to the inner circle. He's trying to throw down an emergency force field at the right, but he may have put down a little bit too many. We do see some extra gateways now finishing up right now. There's the zap in action going down, trying to throw down yet more force fields, and here's the Void Ray coming up. That's going to be the signal for Cow's Rule that he's going to need to invest in something other than an all-in play. And wow, does that help a ton. But keep in mind, though, we have more Zerglings, more Roaches, more everything advancing forward for our Zerg player. But man, the Hero Void Ray doing the dirty work. Now, finally, these extra warp gates are finished. But notice Jules has not even been able to transfer his workers in the worker counting station. We see 23 workers for the Protoss player. Zerg's also at 23. But man, Zerg is having a rough time busting in there with those unbelievably well-planted force fields from Jules. But he is out of energy officially. Oh, he manages to take out an Overlord, so he has supply block the Zerg. But we see more units streaming in. This is a very effective push that Cow's Rule has done. In the production, we see nothing but drones getting made back home. Another sentry popping up into the fray. Needs to throw down the force field before it dies. And there, woo, baby, was that a thin force field. Mentor Void Ray with 8 kills. Now we see the Roaches having to retreat back, and there's the target fire on one of the Roaches. We'll see that Void Ray charge up in just a moment. Maybe we won't. Still doing a lot of damage, and now Protoss doing the smart play. He's going to need to begin chrono boosting his probies to get out all that lost economy. We see Evolution Chamber Spine Crawlers going up. Zerg going for a relatively fast layer. A very odd trade. Fairly even at this point, to be entirely honest. Jules doing the smart play with his air, trying to go for these watchtowers, just trying to shut down any sort of vision advantage that Cow's Rule could have. The Microsoft Zerg did a decent amount of damage, but the Zynga toss with a nice recovery. There's an extra photon cannon being planted by Jules, trying to get a little bit of extra defense. What will his follow-up play be? He might have to go passive for a little bit of time. We see him trying to skirt forward. He's going to start working down on an Overlord, doing a lot of damage. Has to be careful of the Queens, which of course have that mobility, but there's really not that many Queens out on the map right now. In the unit station, we see 2 Queens, a pair of Queens. And always remember that a pair of Void Rays beats a pair of Queens. Perhaps Cow's Rule could try to draw for 3 of a kind, and there he does. Any set beats any pair. It's not exactly the right game, but that is okay. Analogies are the power of a caster. Jules trying to do a little bit of harassment, seeing if maybe he can knock out a drone or 2, maybe knock out a queen or 2. He's going to have to be very, very careful. I'm a little worried about our Zergy friend, though, because this is a very close distance from base to base once these destructible rocks get knocked down. Still just gateways producing. We see that, are any upgrades popping out? No, Jules just making himself a ground force, but the Zerg very smartly getting the plus melee attack upgrade, also getting the speed for Roaches, plus melee attacks, a big upgrade for Zerglings. It's going to help them monumentally, monstrously, super powerfully against all the Protoss units. I actually think the +1 Zergling upgrade is one of the most important upgrades in the entire game for Zerg. There's the Hydralis Den going down for Cow's Rule. Looks like he's going to be going for a Roach-Ling Hydra mix, an increasingly popular composition due to its all-around versatility. But the big key, once again, is those Zerglings. Chrono Boost getting a little bit high for the Zynga toss. That means he's going to be a little bit behind on his probe count. He's at 42 right now, and we do see it looks like a robotics facility going down. Could be going for the observers to try to prevent more creep spread. Could be going for the ever so popular Colossus. Burrow now being planted for Cow's Rule, continuing to add on those creep tumors. Very nice creep spread by the Zerg. Taking this left turn base, and the Void Ray spots it. Immediately one of the big powers of an air opening. The Void Ray Phoenix composition easily deals with any sort of disparate expanding, forces your opponent to essentially only be able to expand here as a third location. We do see the Twilight Council now being constructed by Jules. Jules does have a little bit of a lead in the food department. What will he be doing with this robotics facility? Looks like just an observer for now. But if he can get up on those upgrades and begin doing Blink Stalker pressure, that can also be very dangerous. 9 Hydros popping out right now, as well as the Groove Spines. Now that that melee attack is done, we see the missile attack level 1 being upgraded. 1 Phoenix trying to work away at these weakened Overlords. And there's the full charge on the Void Ray. We see 3 Queens, 3 of a kind, beats a high card Void Ray. Will the Void Ray be able to engage? It looks like he's going to try to take a few shots, but he's going to need to pull back. Oh no, Jules might not have focus. Wow, pulling away in the nick of time, not even taking any damage. And in the meantime, working down on those Overlords. 10 drones popping out now for Cow's Rule. We do see a Spire in the production menu. There it is in the main. Losing a lot of Overlords, and there we see some Stalkers from Jules trying to make the retreat. We see more gateways. We even see a Templar Archives in production. Could be going Templar tech. Could be just trying to get some Archons. We do see that the +1 upgrade is nearing completion at this point. And now Jules is in a little bit of a bind. Should definitely begin doing a little bit of scouting with that Phoenix. Poke around, see what he's up against. Cow's Rule is going for the Roach Hydra mix. He needs more Zerglings. Roach Hydra is one of the most deal-withable compositions in the game. Those units are so potent, it's a very easy mix to use. But it is just very, very weak once you get to the max numbers game. Cow's Rule, though, still making Roaches, Hydras, Drones, getting the Spire. Looks like he will be prepared for any Colossi if they come, but no Colossi have been produced yet. The Observer just hanging out in the middle of the base. Some decent vision spread for the Protoss, and Jules should really begin pushing through this tiny, narrow crevasse. So incredibly strong. Now we see Cow's Rule. He's getting that speed upgrade, now getting the extra hatchery, the extra infestation pit. It's hard for a Zerg player to be able to take additional bases in this point. So it's just going to be a big proliferation race. I'm getting worried for Jules, though. He's going to need to begin moving out very soon. He does have 5 Templar. Looks like he is killing off any scouting Overlords. And here he is going for a 3rd base, throwing down the double pylon. These destructible rocks are a big counterattack possibility for Cow's Rule. Uh-oh, Cow's Rule looks like he has some aggressive intents, but I don't know if I like this so much. We see half his army left behind, and now he is going to be going for the destructible rocks. But this could be absolutely devastating for the Protoss player if he gets at a bad angle. Blink has not even been researched yet. Oh no, the Templar. Whew, there, they're coming now. Cow's Rule trying to move his army back. Needs to get those Roaches in the front. But no, Jules will not pursue. He does have those Void Rays still out on the map. 4th base being taken by Cow's Rule. And Cow's Rule suddenly sprinting ahead. We see the pathogen glands in production at the infestation pit. He will be needing to build those key infestors very soon. That would definitely dramatically up the strength of his army. We see photon cannons getting produced en masse. Big wraparound. There's the Hive getting produced as well. And it looks like no infestors will be available for this fight. This is going to be a big deciding battle. And oh, great angle by Cow's Rule, sweeping in from both sides. But look at the storms from Jules, planting on all those Zerg units. But Cow's Rule might just have a few too many. The Void Ray is at the front of the battle, ripping things up. Archon is going to get taken down, and Jules suddenly in a huge bind. There's the +2 weapon going down, but we can see that that +1 attack from Zerg. We even see +2 flyer going down. 1-1 ups for Cow's Rule. Cow's Rule's going to try to push in the natural expansion, but those cannons are done just in time. Jules is instead favoring charge instead of the blink. Wants to skew towards Zealot Templar. He's going to need a lot more gateways if he wants to burn through that cash quickly, though. He only has those starting 6 that he's had all game long. It looks like Cow's Rule feeling very, very confident, feeling very aggressive. Does have that 4th base up, a huge leg up for Cow's Rule. And we see more Zerglings get incorporated into the mix. The Zerglings so dangerous in large numbers in this matchup. No adrenal glands have been researched yet. That'll jump the strength of those Zerglings through the roof, as they are ordinarily just on the 1st or 2nd floor. Photon cannons now being arranged by Jules. More probes being lined up at the backside. Drone transfer for Cow's Rule down to the bottom left expansion is looking really good. It has 78 drones. That's just the right amount you want. 6 infestors coming up, and Cow's Rule going to be doing the huge mass drill play. He has all the larvae popping off those additional hatches. He's going to be hitting two places at once, having the Zerglings run up and pull back, but the speed is done for those Zealots. And again, Jules is being caught at a weird angle. Oh no, Roaches and Hydras moving up to the top side. Zealots going after Zerglings. Templar Stalker going after everything else. Zerglings are trying to hunt down those Templar, but he won't be able to find them. And there's a great storm. Needs to throw down some more. There's another good storm. Can he get a third one off right in the center of everything? And the Zerg force is going to be completely decimated. A big win for Jules. The Zynga Toss, who loves playing these epic games. Looks like he's going to mark another one down in Camp Epic. See more Templar getting morphed in. More Zealots. The force is just growing larger and larger, and there is the Blink upgrade for those Stalkers. It's going to help so much. These three cannons getting rebuilt for like the 50th time this game. The Observer for Jules now trying to just poke around the top, see if there's anything around, but we are seeing Casual do the smart play, just adding creep to all the locations that he thinks his opponent could expand to. Phoenix from Jules seems to have been left behind. But of course, as all Protosses know, the no Phoenix left behind act should be incorporated into every game. Jules having himself some fun. Be careful, Jules. Zerg is in a commanding position. But of course, Jules loves the intensity. We've seen him play crazy games before, have a ball, and win a seemingly unwinnable situation. And there's the swell in the gateway count. We see a full 9 gateways down on the map right now. The Stalkers are going over to those Overlords. Will they be caught off guard? Oh no, the Zealots are the ones that get caught off guard. And we see, it looks like the Stalkers are advancing forward. You got to be careful. Where's the feedback on those? Oh, he gets one. Uh-oh. Oh, no, the Templar caught off guard. He needs to blink. He needs to send the Zealots in. They're trying to run up. There's the nice storm. Targeting the Templar that have high energy. Oh, my gosh. He's running up, dealing huge damage. This is big for the Protoss. He needs to morph to Archons right away. He cannot lose these Templar. Trying to morph into block, but no, Jules will be running through the entire base, and only one Templar will live to tell the tale, but that's fine. He has 4 new friends. He's moved into a new flat where there's nothing but Templar. Per usual, we see that the Infestor count is looking bigger and bigger in every modern-day Zergverse whatever. And oh my gosh, the Greater Spire's been done. 27 Roaches have just hatched. Roaches streaming in everywhere. And once those Broodlords pop into the field, that is going to be scary time. Jules in a good defensive position, getting his +1 armor, getting his +3 Psyblades. And there it looks like we see a couple of Infestors getting taken down. This Observer placement from Jules is just impeccable. But I'm getting worried for Jules. He's been passive a little bit too long. Anytime you're passive versus Zerg, they build their favorite unit, the Broodlord. One of the most dangerous units in the entire game. So strong. But he doesn't have any food to do so. We see the +3 missile attack, the +2 carapace, and it looks like he's going for it. Templar, Zealots now moving all forward. He needs to be able to get some big storms off, maybe some big feedbacks. There's some storms, ouch, hitting most of his own Zealots. Cow's Rule continuing to advance forward. Those Roaches can absorb some big hits, but my god, those storms are well placed. More storms going down. The Zerg army is not looking good, but those Infestors do have a dangerously high amount of energy. There's the Zealots now getting morphed in for Jules. 10th spot. We see Broodlords now being morphed in. Can the Zynga Toss get into a good spot? There's 8 Templar out right now. He's going to need to hit some perfect storms. Oh, the Burrow healing those Roaches. And there's the second advancement. An amazing fungal growth. If he can kill off the Templar, that'll be huge. Oh, some storms going down. But we see so many units now swinging in from Cow's Rule. We see another 12 Roaches. The Broodlords pop out. The Fungals decimating Jules' force. Jules now morphing in a bunch of Stalkers, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. 11 Stalkers on the field right now. 13 Roaches in production, and just 4 or 5 Broodlords. A small teensy-weensy amount. Going to be enough to swing the battle in his favor. The Broodlords dealing so much damage. There's the blink forward. And the big fungal pinning all the Stalkers. Looks like the Broodlords might lose 1 of their numbers, but 4 still remain. Another big fungal, and the rally point having tons of Zerg units swing up to it. The front base of Jules is in shambles. Jules, who held on all game long, is going to say GG. Microsoft takes the series up to 2 Microsoft now 1 game away from making themselves 3-0 in this series and 3-0 in overall standings. Microsoft on an absolute tear. Let's find out what happens going into the next game here in the After Hours Gaming League to see if Microsoft can pull off a clean, undefeated team record in Week 3.